Howdy, Desert Boy here. So today I went to the range after showing the unboxing of the Howa 1500 Game King combo, which has a Nikko-Stirling scope with the Howa 270 as a 270 Winchester. And so went to the range today and performed pretty good. Howa has a specific break-in process that you find on their website for their guns, particularly this one, if I'm reading it correctly. So I would go there and I would take a look at that and just see what procedures they do have for break-in. So it took me a little longer than just the sighting in. Part of their procedure involves giving some time in between firing rounds at a pretty slow pace, and then doing some very specific cleaning and how they recommend it be cleaned in between doing that, because it's kind of like I guess it's kind of like it's curing the metal and sealing the pores and so forth, and not being a really big kind of target rifle type person or hunting rifle person over the years. I know that this is oftentimes important in breaking in various weapons, but it's the first time I've really tried to follow through on a procedure like that. And so it took some time for that. So initially I used about 10 rounds. I'll show you a little bit of remains of the target. All these rounds down here, you don't specifically aim them. They recommend you don't try to sight in anything, but you give it proper time to cool in between and so forth. So it made it a little time consuming today. And then there was a point, because I'm not real familiar with, this is all new to me in the sense of having sights with illuminated reticles. So apparently, from what I can tell, I couldn't find anything in the manual about it. The illuminated reticle seems to work when you get in lower light situations or towards dark. So during the time I was first doing some sighting in, once I got to the sighting in period, I was not sure if I had a bad battery or what. I brought extra batteries with me just in case I left the scope on or something before I got there. So I changed them out and I didn't get the illuminated green or red reticle. So I said, well, maybe that's, maybe like I said, maybe that's how it works, but I couldn't find anything specific. So I went ahead and started adjusting the reticle, and it was fairly far off. When I was hitting down in this area, originally I was aiming up here. When I was hitting down in this area, I was hitting up here. As you can see, as I started adjusting it, if you can see this at all, you'll see through the trail of tape here that I started finally getting it zeroed in. This was all at about 25 yards. So then I went out to 50 and I worked on it a little bit out there at 50 yards, a little more. Over in this area, I think this might have been the 75 yarder. But anyway, and I worked my way out to 100. When I got out to 100, I didn't shoot too many shots. Unfortunately, this is the remains of the target. You'll probably be entertained by this. That's one part of it. As you can see, towards the end there, I was getting it zeroed in a little more. That's probably humorous to you, is how that target looks. And then what I did is I came back to 50 yards before I finished out for the day, just to check the zero on it. And during this time I was doing this, I was using this, I like this Sako hammerhead ammunition for 270. It's 156 grain. I used this originally in my Tika T3 when I had it with my GS3 scope, because I had a Sako barrel on there, stainless steel barrel, but I happen to like this ammunition for that. So you can see at 50 yards, this was the final grouping I had, so it looked like the scope's pretty well dialed in. And then just to check with a different animal before I finished out for the day, I went ahead and shot a few more rounds. I think about 4 rounds here at 50 yards. with the Federal, I think it's Federal Fusion 150 grain 270 Winchester. So went ahead and shot that, and as you can see in that grouping at 50 yards, it's pretty well dialed in. So just wanted to share that with you. There were some results I had from going to the range with that. Sorry I don't have any actual video of going through the shooting part of it, but a lot of times it's kind of slow and boring, to be honest, and some of my videos are already a little slow on the range with the lever actions, but sometimes they're a little more interesting because they're lever action, I guess. But learned some things about the illuminated reticle, and of course when I got towards nighttime, we were almost at dusk when that happened, the reticles did start showing up. So for that, I particularly like the green reticle, but it seemed to help out a little bit. So anyway, that is, just wanted to share that with you. As always, practice safety when you're out there, whether you're out at the range, whether you're going about your everyday life. You want to try to be safe, follow all your local, state, and federal rules, and anything to do with, however you carry weapons, however you transport weapons. Sometimes with rifles, different states are different. State where I'm at here, you can transport it, but you can't have any round in the chamber. So it just depends on where you live at. So you know your laws and rules about that. Some states you can't even have anything in there. They all have to be locked up. They can't have any ammunition with them. It just varies. So anyway, coming back to the Howa shot pretty nicely. It's a heavier gun. I think I mentioned before it's like 9.4 pounds with that scope on it. So that does help a little bit with the recoil, with the Hogue what do they call it? Hogue, can't think of the name of but it's a Hogue type of overmolded Hogue stock. And that stock is really nice and got a nice grip to it, so it gives you good ability to grab onto it when you're shooting it. I also used, like when I was doing the 100-yard shots, I was using the Caldwell bipod on there, fully extended, which I think is 13 inches. And so I was using that bipod. The last shots I shot with the Fusion and with the hammerhead, I used some Caldwell, bags, to set it on to stabilize it a little more. And so anyway, that's my report on that. Be safe out there once again, and hope you find this useful to you. And I still have video coming on the 45-70 range video, and I also got a little time in on the Springfield Armory XDE 45 on the range recently here, as well as the Ruger Wrangler. So have a good day now. Bye.